Firstly, let me take this opportunity
Recording
to
in
welcome
progress.
everybody in this important meeting. This is a special meeting of our committee. We know that Parliament is on recess. We should be in our constituency offices on a Monday. We are not there because of the imperatives of the Constitution, because of this meeting. And I want to greatly thank all members of Parliament for attending this crucial meeting, and also thank all those who attended a meeting, our oversight visit to the Northwest Province in the Ditsobotla local municipality. I think this has been a very, very busy, what is supposed to be a recess, but it's not a recess for members of this committee. We greatly appreciate and welcome that. With that, as you are aware, our item that we are going to consider this morning pertains to the Ditsobotla local municipality, and this is the only item on the agenda. Moss has already dealt with the apologies. We have not received any apologies, but apparently there are two members of this committee who are missing, namely Honorable Mtetwa and Honorable Mikalakis. And as it were, Moss and the team, the administrative team, will look for them so that they join this meeting. This meeting is very much important. Now, having said that, it is important that I sketch out this background information for members and for the record of this committee, namely that we are meeting to consider and adopt the select committee report, our select committee on cooperative governance and traditional affairs, water and sanitation, and human settlements, pertaining to the oversight visit to the Ditsobotla local municipality in terms of section 1391C of the Constitution. Members will remember that we visited the Ditsobotla local municipality last week, Thursday, on the 29th of September, in compliance with the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. We as the NCOP, through the office of our chairperson, Honorable Masondo, we did receive the notice from the Northwest Provincial Executive pertaining to its decision to invoke section 1391C of the Constitution, which means that they dissolved the municipality of Ditsobotla. And dissolving a municipality of Ditsobotla has got a lot of implications. And those implications include that if we approve the intervention and the minister approves the intervention, the municipality will be dissolved. And if we don't, it means the status quo remains. Now, we have presented a report that is before you, or even before I get into the report, it is quite important to mention that in terms of the Constitution, we are expected to, within 14 days, take a decision as the House of Parliament, that is our chambers, to resolve whether to approve or disapprove the intervention, and all of that must happen within a period of 14 days. In terms of our calculations, 14 days will be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 5th of October. I can also see that a notice has been issued by the chairperson of the NCOP and the office of the chief whip, inviting all members of parliament to attend that session that will start at 9 o'clock, I think, in the morning, to consider this report that is before us. Now, this is quite important to sketch out that background. Now, the report I'm going to summarize, but I will largely take you to the observations and the recommendations. And at the end of submitting this report, I'll raise one or two matters pertaining to the background to this, and part of that is not really covered in this report that is before us. Firstly, as I indicated, the Northwest government invoked Section 139 pertaining to the dissolution of the Ditsobotla local municipality. That is 1C of that provision of the Constitution. And that decision was taken on the 14th of September. Can you immediately correct that, Moss, in point 1.2? It is not August, it is September. Taking a decision to dissolve the municipality. I don't want to take you through the process where the notice was not properly served, it was not correct, but ultimately when we received it, it tells us that by the 5th of October, we must have resolved this particular issue. And that this was tabled before the NCOP chairperson, who referred the matter to the Cogta subcommittee for our consideration. And in terms of two, we went to Ditsobotla on the 29th of September. The view was to solicit the views of different stakeholders, both internal and external stakeholders, to the Ditsobotla local municipality on their view regarding the dissolution of the municipality in terms of Section 1391C of the Constitution. In terms of point 3, we give the general overview of the visit, the fact that we were addressed by two MECs, MEC of Cogta in the Northwest and MEC of Treasury in the Northwest, where they gave us reasons why the Northwest government has taken such a drastic action to dissolve the municipality, a municipality that was inaugurated or that was elected on the 1st of November last year. We also received representations from Salga, from the mayor herself, all the 7 parties that are represented in the local municipality, ANC, DA, EFF, Freedom Front Plus, Forum for Service Delivery, EIC, ACDP, all those parties. There were 1 or 2 which were not available. And we did, as point 4 will indicate, we did receive a joint briefing by the two MECs where they outlined the reasons why they decided to dissolve that particular municipality. Can you move up to page 3? Move faster, please. They sketched out the move up. Yes, they sketched out the background in terms of their interventions and in terms of Section 152 of the Constitution, giving support to the municipality itself, strengthening its capacity, ensuring that it is accountable, and at the end of the day, enhancing the municipality to exercise his powers, to perform his functions, and all of that. And that they did that to ensure that the municipality is stable. And this municipality persistently has been having its own problems. Can you move up, please? You are too slow. Yes, and that point 6, they motivated why they intervened. The reasons have been forwarded to you through this draft report that we need to adopt. And the bottom line is that there have been the same issues for the last 5 years. For example, that the outcomes of the Auditor General report were not okay. The municipality was unable to perform its functions. Yeah, and there's been abnormality in terms of the political and administrative situation in the municipality, the infightings that were perpetuated by councils and all of that. Can you move? Now, they also shared with us the factors that triggered the intervention, which are quite explanatory to you. We did receive the oral and written presentation from the South African Local Government Association, SALGA, and despite the fact that there was a lot of confusion in what SALGA was saying, and we were disappointed that SALGA Northwest was not giving us the report as they used to give us the report when there are interventions in that province. This is something that we will note, and that different political parties represented in the municipality, the ANC, in the party through its chief whip, they didn't agree that the municipality must be dissolved. The DA didn't agree that the municipality must be dissolved. Can you move, please? The DA didn't agree that the municipality must be dissolved. The Freedom Front supported the dissolution of the municipality. Can you move? I don't know, you are too slow lately and you are not following me. The Economic Freedom Front supported the dissolution of the municipality. The ACDP didn't support the dissolution of the municipality. They pointed the reasons and why they think that this is happening. The Forum for Service Delivery didn't support. We engaged with some, the union, the other one was not represented. They don't agree that the municipality must be dissolved. We engaged different external stakeholders like the Dutch Reformed Church, Lichtenberg Business Chamber, the Community Policing Forum, the representative of the school governing bodies in Ditsobotla, a representative from the Women Forum. Also, they stated their views. The Car Wash and Shine representative also had a word. The Media Practitioner Association, they expressed the word. And SANCO, the South African National Civic Organization, also, yes. Just step that number 11, yes. They all express their views. And the bottom line in all these views expressed by all the stakeholders, both internal and external, their views do point that there is a crisis in the municipality. The municipality was dysfunctional. It cannot fulfill its executive obligations under the Constitution, that water was not provided as it should, that services had literally collapsed, and that the function, that there were infightings, and mostly this infighting were perpetuated by the ruling party itself, and that there was there were allegations of corruption that were not implemented within the municipality. And from that point of view, they shared different perspectives about what needs to happen. And as I pointed out, basically, there were three messages emerging from all of these submissions that we received. The one side was saying don't dissolve the municipality. The other one was saying dissolve the municipality. And the last one was saying we depend on you, the NCOP, do the right thing, salvage our municipality, help us to succeed in that regard. As long as you bring a solution to the problem that we have, we'll be very, very happy. Now I'm going to read to you the observations of the committee. Just go down, starting from point 11, because that is quite important. You are at 11.2. Go to point 11. I want to read everything from there. The Select Committee has noted that in terms of Section 1392 of the Constitution, if with a small letter, please, a provincial executive intervenes in a municipality in terms of Section 1391C, the provincial executive must immediately submit a written notice of the dissolution to the cabinet member responsible for local government affairs and the relevant provincial legislature and the National Council of Provinces, and that the dissolution takes effect 14 days from the date of receipt of the notice by the council, unless set aside by the cabinet member or by the council before the expiry of those 14 days. 2, the Select Committee has noted with regard to constitutional and procedural requirements that a written notice of the intervention in terms of Section 1391C of the Constitution in Ditsobotla local municipality was submitted to the Minister of the Department of Cogta, the Northwest Provincial Legislature, and the National Council of Provinces on the 15th of September 2022. Number 3, in line with the approval requirements prescribed in Section 1393 of the Constitution, the Select Committee has noted that on 29 September 2022, the Minister of Cogta concurred with the decision of the Northwest PEC to intervene in the Ditsobotla local municipality by dissolving the municipal council in terms of Section 1391C of the Constitution and appointing an administrator until a newly elected municipal council has been declared elected. 4, the minister has approved the intervention in the local municipality on condition that 1, the administration team should be constituted with clear terms of reference to assume all the powers bestowed by the Constitution and other relevant legislations to a municipal council. 2, the administration team, supported by the provincial and national department and SALGA, should develop a plan to deal with all the identified challenges experienced by the municipality, against which they will deliver corrective measures for the triggers of the intervention, and report on progress to the PEC every month. 3, that the Department of Cogta be provided with monthly and quarterly progress reports and a closeout report upon revocation of the intervention. 4, that the MEC, through the administrator and or municipal manager, liaise with the IEC to alert on the dissolution of the Ditsobotla local municipality or municipal council. Number 5, the Select Committee has noticed that the Minister of the Department of Cooperative Governance and International Affairs has considered, among others, when approving the intervention, the challenges experienced by the municipality regarding serious shortcomings prevalent in the local municipality. The existence of two parallel municipal councils operating in the municipality with two mayors, two speakers, and two whips in the municipal council. 6, that the minister has also noted the ever non-fulfillment of the executive and other legislative obligations that have necessitated the invocation of Section 1391C of the Constitution in that municipality. 7, that the Select Committee has further noted that Section 139C of the Constitution has been invoked along Section 1395 of the MFMA by the Provincial Treasury to implement the mandatory financial recovery plan in Ditsobotla local municipality, as this municipality is under financial stress. 8, the Select Committee has noted with great concern the existence of criminal elements within the municipality, non-compliance with legislation and supply chain management policy, leadership squabbles between the offices of the mayor and the speaker, municipal council failure to carry out its executive and other legislative mandates as stipulated in terms of Section 152.1, 152.2, and 153 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Number 9, that the Select Committee has further noted the opinions, concerns of both internal and external stakeholders on the need to ensure municipal ethical leadership, conflict management between the mayor and the speaker, good governance, sound financial management, lean as opposed to bloated municipal administration, appointment of qualified, competent, and skillful officials, fight against corruption, commitment to deal with political interference in administration, implementation of consequence management, implementation of the recommendation of the Special Investigating Unit and the Public Protector's reports, provision of service delivery such as electricity, water, and roads, and lack of impact of previous Section 1391B invoked in the local municipality. Number 10, the Select Committee has on the basis of the written submissions of the Democratic Alliance noted numerous concerns relating to previously failed interventions, ANC political factionalism, undermining governance and service delivery, non-tabling in the Council of SIU report following investigation into the previous administration, non-implementation of the Public Protector's report into inherent nepotism in appointments, deployment and redeployment of failed administrators, adoption of unfunded budget, collapse of water and sanitation services, devaluation of property in Lichtenburg due to lack of service delivery, impacting on local economic development, substantial financial losses as a result of water leaks. 11, on current municipal challenges, the Select Committee has further noted the concerns of the Democratic Alliance on failures related to appointment of skillful and qualified municipal officials, skills auditing, appointment into administration of previous political office bearers and councillors without adequate job descriptions, filling of critical vacancies for skilled and technical positions at middle management, implementation of the recruitment process plan for the appointment of senior management, payment of third-party deductions, payment of suppliers and service providers within the prescribed 30 days, updating of indigent register, extended vacancy of the position of the chief financial officer, provision of tools of trade, updating of municipal valuation hall, excessive expenditure on litigation, Section 54 managers filled on temporary basis without relevant qualifications, dysfunctionality of supply chain management, undermining of legislative oversight mandate, and subversion by political office bearers and officials, sabotage and vandalism of infrastructure by officials, constant violence of employees, resulting in several hostages, shooting incidents, regular protest actions, and lack of assistance from the South African local government association with regard to the current municipal challenges. The Select Committee is of the opinion that the substantive matters raised by the internal and external stakeholders generally require the NCOP to approve a resolution that will ensure municipal good governance, sound financial management, organizational development, effective public participation, and service delivery in the Ditsobotla local municipality in accordance to the Constitution and existing legislation. Given the totality of this, the recommendation of the Select Committee are as follows. Having solicited the opinions of the internal and external stakeholders in line with the constitutional requirements of public participation on the constitutional, procedural, and substantive matters relating to the invocation of Section 1391C of the Constitution, the Select Committee recommends to the NCOP as follows: that the National Council of Provinces approve or disapprove the invocation of Section 1391C of the Constitution in the Ditsobotla local municipality. Report to be considered by this committee. Just to say two things after this report. Yesterday, I was finished with the information that despite the NCOP not yet taken a decision to approve or disapprove the intervention as done by the Northwest government, the MEC of Cogta in that province has already decided to appoint the administrator, and that in terms of the correspondence at our disposal, the MEC would introduce the administrator today at 11 o'clock, the same time that this meeting is held. This is very, very annoying and disturbing to say the least, because this process is not yet completed. And I want us, after deliberating on this, to pronounce ourselves on that, and with what we resolved, we must incorporate it in the final report that must serve before council. Two is that I see Honorable Ditoi is part of this meeting, which is very, very good. We welcome that. Honorable Ditoi is free to participate, to contribute, to make suggestions, like all other members of parliament. The only thing that he will not do or be permitted to do is to vote at the time that we decide to vote on the adoption or otherwise of this report. I thought perhaps I must raise these two issues before I open the floor for engagement. Over to you, honorable members. That is the report that is before you. We can consider the report. We can then raise issues as well as making some suggestions on how we must proceed forward. Over to you. Let me see your hands. Honorable Enoch Mtetwa. I see that only hand. Any other hand?
Can I come in, Chair?
Yes, come in. The floor is yours, Honorable Mtetwa, followed by Honorable Cesar and Honorable Silek and Honorable Kenny.
Chair, firstly, let me move the adoption of the dissolution of this municipality. That's one. Secondly, the issue of the MEC who has just gone there and appoint administrators without our decision. I don't think, Chair, it's appropriate. If we allow that, because it's only now that we have resolved and gave the decision as to what must be followed in this dissolution of the municipality. I think she's really out of order, Chair. She must still appoint the new people that will be management of that committee without the one that has already been appointed, because those one we are not party to it, because we have just taken now a decision of dissolving that municipality. Those are the two issues, Chair, that I wanted to raise. Thank you so much.
By Honorable Sileku.
Chair, it's Honorable first, sir, then it's me.
Yeah, in that order.
Sileku, you can go. If you want to go first, you can go.
The floor is yours, Honorable Officer.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, to evoke a section 139(1)(c) intervention in Ditsobotla or any one of the 21 other municipalities in Northwest will really only be a political punitive action to discipline ANC and other councillors using political infighting to establish itself by means of disruptive and destructive behaviour in local government, which we cannot allow. The PEC already took the decision to invoke section 139(5) of the Constitution and then made a mistake to invoke section 139(1)(c) to dissolve council instead of section 139(1)(b). This must be corrected. If we can get a legal opinion regarding that, since you cannot have a section 139(1) and a 139(5) at the same time. Considering the hit list of 8 more Northwest municipalities identified as being in crisis and under evocation of section 139(5)(a) and (c) currently, it deems necessary to state that Ditsobotla in total had 7 section 139 interventions, including the mandatory one now, but regress to a point where the economy of Ditsobotla will be collapsing and the destiny of this municipality and its people will be determined by the NCOP's decision this week. Life in Ditsobotla is challenged due to the continuous regression despite 7 failed intervention. It remains important to identify the elephant in the room and deal with the fundamental deterioration that caused Ditsobotla and others to collapse and causing inhumane conditions to all who live in the jurisdiction of this municipality. When the first signs of financial mismanagement and maladministration are detected by the AG and the provincial government, steps must be taken to address and resolve unaccountability with stringent consequence management measures. Accounting officers, directors, and managers, together with the mayor and speaker of the municipality, should be obliged to govern according to and with the discipline of the Constitution and applicable legislation. We cannot tolerate what became systemic fraud, corruption, and looting of municipalities anymore by dissolving councils, and accounting officers and their top and middle management remains untouchable. Where fraud, corruption, illegal conduct happens within these administrations and in Ditsobotla by corrupt officials, cases must be opened and prosecuted through the courts. It so happens that these cases are internally have disciplinary measures and handled with a slap on the wrist, and the endemic disease of corrupt governance is nurtured within these administrations. Further than that, the provincial Cogta must intervene when a municipality shows the first signs of fundamental deterioration and non-compliance to the delivery of basic essential services. For more than 10 years, Ditsobotla regressed to a state of complete dysfunction, while provincial Cogta failed, according to section 154, to support and strengthen the capacity of Ditsobotla to exercise their powers and perform their functions.
Sorry, Chairperson. There's a disturbance at the back because we can't hear properly, please.
Honorable Mutsama is disturbing us, Chair.
Honorable Samai, can you mute your mic, please? Up to the meeting. Sorry for that, Honorable Fisher. You can continue.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Honorable Bartlett. The provincial section 154 assistance must be enforced with the required discipline as and when red flags in governance becomes visible. Accounting officers and political leadership should be held accountable for incapacity leading to incompetency by cadre deployment. Municipalities collapsed due to not appointing officials not qualified to deliver the outcomes needed for successful delivery of services. The committee must deliberate and will recommend upon our findings on the destiny of Ditsobotla and its people. The NCOP must, according to its mandate, integrity and responsibility, resolve what is justified for Ditsobotla. And then I cannot just add to this my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Secretariat for the report of the this committee that is a full proof of the fact that if we should decide to dissolve this municipality, we will only solve 40%.
Right. Thank you, Honorable Fisher. Honorable Sileku, the platform is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Am I audible?
You are audible now.
Allow me to apologize for not switching the camera because of load shedding. And let me greet all honorable members on the platform. And I will just show my camera that it is indeed me, so you don't have to question that. Chair, firstly, let me latch on to what you started with, and I ask for your indulgence in this matter as well, because this is not an easy matter. Firstly, Chair, in terms of what you have elaborated on or shared with the committee yesterday in terms of correspondence that has been sent to the Ditsobotla municipality about the introduction of the administrator before a decision has been made, it actually confirms what I always been saying about us as the committee of the NCOP, that we are a rubber stamp and we are a tool used by the ANC to fight their factional battles. And that you have shared is just a confirmation of that. And I refuse to be part of that. And why do I say that, Chair, is that because on that particular correspondence was written on the 28th of September 2022 for us, inviting them to a meeting of the 3rd, same time that we are meeting, deliberating on this particular matter. And our inspection was done on the 29th, a day before a decision was taken by the HOD to invite the municipality for that introduction of administrator. And on the same day that we had our inspection is the same day that Cogta nationally concurred with the province, on the same day that we were deliberating on it. So those are the kind of things that has been happening, in the run up to this particular decision. And even today, we as a committee are deliberating and we'll take a decision. And this decision is going to go to the House on Wednesday. Only on Wednesday, a decision will be made whether we agree or we don't agree, because we are going to send a recommendation to the House. That is processes that needs to be followed. So when institutions that has the authority to intervene do not understand processes of law, one wonders why such municipalities, or why we find so many municipalities are in disarray in this particular province. Chair, let us start, because my question, Chair, is I want to know whether there is an intervention in Ditsobotla in terms of section 139.5 A and C. Before I start with my deliberations, I want someone just to clarify to me whether there is a section 139.5 A and C in Ditsobotla.
Can I just, because Honorable first I raised the same issue, just clarify that issue once and for all. We don't know of any section 1395 of the Constitution. If you read the Constitution in respect of that section, it says that once a decision has been taken to invoke section 1395, the NCOP must be accordingly informed. On our record, I checked with the office of the chair. There is no such information, and therefore, I want us to not talk about that because that was not brought to our attention. And as far as we are concerned as the NCOP, we can't entertain something that is not on the table. And please, whatever that you say, bear that in mind that I'm saying we do not have that information at our disposal, and therefore we cannot entertain. We don't know anything about it. But I propose that during the course of the next session, term of parliament, we must invite the MEC of Cogta and Treasury from the Northwest to come and clarify this and tell them that if they persist and continue with that they will be acting outside the Constitution and the necessary legislation. Because if you don't submit the report, or there is no evidence that we have submitted the report and that the NCOP has not approved or disapproved that invocation of section 1395, it doesn't exist. As easy as that. And I want to really request this meeting, specifically this meeting, let's not entertain it because it's not there in our records. Thank you, Honorable Select. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. There is a specific reason why I'm calling. I'm saying that. And the same questions that I'm raising here is the questions that were not able to be answered. Because in terms of my understanding is that on the 21st of November 2021, section 139.5 was started in Ditsobotla. And then it was 80'd on the 18th of March 2022. And then it was received on the 7th of March 2022. So this is what I have in front of me, Chair. So what we are saying is that we don't know it, but in terms of records, I have that it was 80'd on the 18th of March. We did receive it as the NCOP on the 7th of March. So then that's where my worry comes in, Chair, because we are not even sure whether it was sent or not. So whether it was lack of oversight from our side as the NCOP, or whether the chairperson, the office of the national chairperson of NCOP did not, relay it to us as the committee so that we can deal with it. That is something that needs to be looked at. And that's where the problem comes in. It's there. Because, Chair, why I am raising this is because on the 26th of October, 5 days before the elections, the Ministry of Finance, wrote to the Premier Bushimabe in Northwest, sharing with him that they have identified about 43 municipalities as per the directive of His Excellency, Honorable Ramaphosa, about municipalities that are in financial distress, 43 in the country. And then about 10 were in the Northwest. And as a result of that, one of the things that they have, understood or tried to come up with that has led for them to invoke that particular section instead of section 139.1 was because of the metrics that they identified. And what is interesting in this matrix, Chair, is that the Cogta, National Treasury, together identified the metrics. And within this matrix, there were 4 pillars that they looked at. And those 4 pillars were mainly governance, service delivery, institutional capacity, and financial management. So you had to qualify, or you had to adhere to those 4 criteria. And then looking at that, they also found that there is an incorrect interpretation when it comes to Section 139 of the Constitution. That's what they picked up, because when they have done their exercise in terms of those 4 pillars, then they said, okay, all these municipalities, we cannot implement Section 139(1) because these municipalities are in financial distress. And then they said, the only way to remedy the situation in these particular municipalities is to advise municipalities that they should go the route of Section 139(5), A and C. That was the directive. And then if
Honorable Seleku, just before that, with due respect, I don't want us to venture into Section 1395 or what of the Constitution here. The matter that is on the table is Section 1391C. Let me tell you why I don't really want to do that. Is that if you say to this meeting that was invoked in November last year, that's what you are saying, and you producing evidence that it was also ATC on the 7th of March, and that I don't know how it was brought to the attention of the NCOP on the 7th of March, and a week later it was ATC. Even if that is the case, and I don't want us to entertain this, but even if that was the case, you know what the Constitution says. The Constitution says in terms of Section 1396, it says, if you invoke Section 1395 of the Constitution, you must inform the NCOP within 7 days after that thing had begun, within 7 days. And if we say this was done in November, and it was only brought to the attention of the NCOP in March, it is well outside the 7 days that is covered in the Constitution. That is why I don't even want to talk about that. Be that as it may, it was not brought to our attention that there is a matter that you need to follow up, as this committee would have done that. That is why I really, really want you to talk on the report that is on the table. And that report is about our oversight visit to the Northwest in respect of Section 1391C, the dissolution of the municipality. Any other thing else, we will deal with it outside this meeting and outside what we are expected to do, namely to take a decision whether we recommend the approval of the intervention or not. And I really, really sincerely would like you, with due respect, speak to that. Please.
Chair, I beg for indulgence. What I'm trying to show, Chair, is that the failure of this particular provincial government in terms of fully fulfilling their oversight in terms of this particular municipality. That's what I'm trying to show, Chair. Whether it was said before us or not, I'm just giving the facts, and the reason why we did not get it also reflects on them as a province of not following due process. So they are taking the easy way out. So, Chair, let us go to our
Yes, Honorable Sileku, you can talk about that. You can talk about its failure in terms of Section 154 of the Constitution. And all that I'm saying to you, avoid talking about Section 1395 of the Constitution. But that 154 you can talk, because 154 must be followed by 139, any 139 if you like. And please speak to that. And this thing will not really help us.
Yeah, I hear you, and unfortunately, you'll have to bear with me. I was there, and you were there, and all of us were there. There were pertinent questions that I raised in that particular meeting, which we did not get, answers to. And I would start with what you finished with, Chair, when we were in that particular meeting. You said to MEC Micha that she should provide us with written information on everything that they have done in terms of rendering support to that particular municipality. That has been your request, Chair. And today we are engaging and we did not receive that. So how does one make a decision based on correspondence about meetings. Say that we had several meetings with that municipality, but we don't even know what has been the outcome of those particular municipalities. And the information, and the information that is in front of us.
Honorable Silegu, please, I don't want any dialogue with you, please. I'm saying, if Honorable Mir doesn't give us information as we have requested here, that will not stop this meeting. That will not stop the NCOP to do its job. That was her responsibility to give us that information. If that information doesn't come, we are proceeding with the meeting and we will take whatever decision that we take. But that we cannot stop if he fails to do her job. It's not our responsibility. We will do and we will take a decision on the basis of the information that we have.
Chair, exactly what I'm saying. And unfortunately, Chair, it's unfortunate that you will perceive me as being in a dialogue with you, and that's not my intention. Nonetheless, I will continue with what I want to say. Honorable Chair, unfortunately, I have said it and I'm going to say it again. Problems in Ditsobotla are not problems that only started when this new council was inaugurated. It has been coming all along, and my colleague has said there's been almost like 8 interventions. And how does one come to a decision to say that a particular intervention has not succeeded without any proof of tangible information in terms of this is what we have done as the department? And unfortunately, Chair and committee and members of the committee, we did not get that information that stated that this is how we as the provincial government have tried to intervene. All we heard is that there has been accusations from members of the same organization going back and forth. The other ones are choosing the other one and the other one coming up and then are choosing the other one. That is the state of affairs in that particular municipality. And also, Chair, it's difficult for me as a member of the committee to make an informed decision when information or answers that were given were not sufficient for me to make an informed decision. Because I am finding myself, Chair, in the same situation when we dealt with the matter of Tshwane. And it's written everywhere that the court judgment is there, Constitutional Court is there, where they talk about the less intrusive and the more intrusive intervention. And unfortunately, I can say it now without fear of favor that the MEC of Cogta and the MEC of Treasury did not demonstrate or did not show that there was exhausted efforts to try and remedy the situation. They did not show that, Chair. And also what we have heard there, Chair, is that the problems in that particular council, it's not problems by Dan or by all councillors. It's a problem that is done by one organization. And then as a result, because people can't deal with ill discipline within the organization, they take the easy way out and they say, let us dissolve this municipality. And then after elections, they bring the same people that are robust and ill-disciplined. And we cannot do that. And it does not make sense, Chair, with all the problems that are there, that within a period of 10 months, that we take the more intrusive way without even showing or demonstrating that we've exhausted all avenues within the legislative framework to come and assist this municipality. Don't tell me about previous terms. I'm talking about this particular term. So Chair, with those few words, I'm not going to dwell on, because my point of departure would have substantiated my point and my views if you did not say I should not mention the intervention that was asked by National Treasury. That's where the point of departure, because we cannot have two interventions in one municipality. Thank you very much.
Yes, the honorable member, to just thank you very much for your input. To just remind the meeting as well, the national intervention can only be effected in terms of section 1397 of the Constitution. And the province, it is in terms of section 1391, ABC, and section 1394 and 5 of the Constitution. Now, in all these instances, there are processes that needs to be followed. If national or provincial government doesn't follow the processes, it is not for, you can't hold that to the NCOP. And the NCOP must insist, and I argue that whoever speaks here must insist that the NCOP must stick to the procedure, must stick to the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? And in this instance, how do we entertain section 1397 that is not served before us? How do we entertain section 1394 or 5 that is not served before us? I mean, that would be unfair of this committee and the NCOP. Let us stick to what is on the table. And on the table is the invocation of section 1391C by the government of the Northwest. And this is what we need to speak to and take a decision based on that. That's all that I'm requesting members to do, because that is a matter that is on the table. With regard to others, we can discuss them at a later stage. But for now, the issue on the table is the invocation of section 1391C of the Constitution on the dissolution of the local municipality of Ditsobotla. And then I want to request all the speakers, please stick to that when we engage on these issues. There was a hand of Honorable Dutoy. Honorable Dutoy, are you still there? And followed by Honorable Hadebe.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I've been partially covered. Honorable Chair, in the report, mention is made of the filling of crucial and vacant positions, but we request that a skills audit also be conducted as a matter of urgency to see to it that the people that are employed does have the necessary skills to conduct their work. Thank you, Chair. I've been covered on the rest.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Dutoy. Honorable Hadebe, it's noted.
Honorable Chairperson, thank you so much for the opportunity. Honorable Chairperson, let me open by saying that our visit to Ditsobotla local municipality and our sitting today and the decision we'll take is informed by all the procedural and constitutional steps that the Northwest Provincial Government would have to have taken. Now, I'm going back to our point of departure as this select committee on the 29th of September at the stakeholder meeting, where we pronounced ourselves that this select committee will today sit to consider all the presentations and pronounce itself whether to support the intervention or not. Meaning that the MEC and the Northwest Provincial Government cannot make any advances before the select committee sits and take any decision to recommend to the NCOP. It is unfortunate then that the MEC is not helping the rescue efforts. And I find it unprocedural for this select committee to be to allow itself to be dragooned into taking hasty and procedural decisions that the MEC seems to be taking. We all know that our mandate as government, and that includes the MECs, to make it a point that the constitution of the country is followed. Now, I find myself in a very difficult position. I know that
Recording in progress.
you have
Recording in progress.
you have denounced the move by the MEC to proceed with all
Just a bit, Honorable Hadebe. Honorable Musamai, Edi Musamai, please. Please, it's for the third time now you are disrupting the meeting of the Committee of Parliament. Please. Please, can you just mute your mic? Make sure that it is muted all the time, please, Honorable Kenny Musamai. Thanks. Sorry for that, Honorable
Chair.
Hadebe.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, lastly, what I would want to say is that the IFP will support any constitutional intervention that includes the invocation of Section 139(1)(c), initiated to rescue Ditsobotla local municipality, provided all the steps leading to the point where we are now were followed according to what the Constitution prescribes. Thank you, Chair.
Very much, Honorable Hadebe. On the platform is Honorable Kenny Musamai, followed by Honorable Bartlett. Honorable Kenny Musamai, the platform is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, under your leadership, the NCOP is not corrupt. I don't want to dwell a lot on the issue of MEC MEGA that they've been appointed or what, or to dwell on 154. I just want to dwell on 139C. Our decision is one, is to protect the people of Ditsobotla. The Speaker of Municipality and the Mayor are on a serious war for the bank account because there is billions of money in that municipality, which is pushed by the provincial. We are not in provincial. We are the National Council of Provinces. The decision is one, Chairperson, as we are not one of the corrupt members. People of Ditsobotla are serious in a crisis. They are suffering. The municipality is not functioning. So what I'm requesting you, Chair, is to dwell and look on the issue of 139C to assist and to protect the corruption that is going to happen in Ditsobotla. I thank you, Chairperson.
Very much. In essence, you're saying the EFF supports the dissolution of the municipality, as I understand you. Honorable Martha Bartlett.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chair, I will not repeat what other members have said, but just to say I am raising my hand in support of this report, and because you covered us with the issues of invite the two MECs to a meeting afterwards. So, Honorable, I thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right. In the absence of any other hand, can I make this observation to the meeting, and you'll guide me if I'm on course? Firstly, I think in the exception of the two members of the DA, the meeting says we support the dissolution of the Ditsobotla local municipality. Honorable Hadebe of the IFP says we will support it provided that all the steps and processes are followed to the latter. Can I make this particular points as raised by the meeting. Firstly, I propose that part of this report must include that we must invite the two MECs of Cogta and Treasury from the Northwest to come and explain this issue pertaining to the invocation of Section 1395 of the Constitution, not only in Ditsobotla, but in the rest of all other municipalities in the Northwest. Two, we must agree that immediately one of the major tasks of the administrator will be to conduct skills audit as proposed by Honorable Ditoi. We must move forward and ensure that all those who are not properly appointed as officials are dealt with accordingly. This is the second part of what is on the table. The third part is that we must agree that we must call the MEC of Cogta in the Northwest to order, reprimand her in the strongest terms, but demand that she must appear before the committee of this select committee within a month to come and explain fully the circumstances under which she tried to usurp and undermine the constitutional process of the NCOP, which we followed in terms of ensuring that at the end of the day we present the House, because already she has appointed the administrator, she has gone to the municipality, and she's trying to usurp and bypass this whole process. Within a month, we must call her after, but on Wednesday, we must condemn her behavior in Parliament, and that we must summon her to appear within a month before this committee to come and explain herself. Why did she behave and disrespect this particular committee? And that we as this committee, we were not gonna be influenced by that behavior. Whether she sent a person or not, we are doing the work that we are doing in line with the Constitution and the procedures that we have outlined as the NCOP. And based on that, we say, in the exception of the TA, we say that we approve the dissolution of the municipality. Is that the correct summary of the meeting?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay. Any other view or objection to this?
None.
Yes. Can I get the mover for the adoption of the report?
Chairperson, for the adoption of the report.
Okay. Honorable Butler, for the adoption of the report. Any seconder?
Ndongeni supported, Chair.
Is supported by Honorable Mtetwa. Yes. Any objection to the report?
You object to the report,
None.
Chair. You object to the report as the DA.
Yes, okay, fine. The DA is objecting to the adoption of the report. Any abstention? No abstention. Can I conclude that the report is adopted in exception of the DA, and that all of these views expressed by political parties will be incorporated into the report that will be presented before the House on Wednesday. With that in mind, honorable members, I must say that this has not been an easy matter to deal with. A dissolution in its nature is tough, is drastic, and there ought to be extraordinary circumstances under which a dissolution is effected. What I've not seen in what Moss was indicating is the fact that we also need to ensure, as our view, we need to ensure that we accordingly inform the IEC about the dissolution of this municipality, and that within 90 days, the new elections must be held in, by-elections must be held in Ditsobotla. That should be our decision. Just emphasizing on what the minister has indicated in terms of her recommendations, in terms of how this particular process must be unfolded. With that, honorable members, thank you very much for attending this meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Chair, can I ask you a question?
The meeting is
adjourned.
Yeah, because you're in a house.
no, you are against so just leave it.
Hurry forward, Isileko. Hurry forward.
You don't listen.
Recording stopped.
You don't
The
listen.
meeting is adjourned. It's okay.
No, you don't learn. You don't learn. You don't learn.
Isileko.
No, you don't learn. You don't learn.
It's too late
Bye-bye,
for the leave.
Buti. It's fine. It's okay. Do whatever you want.
And Dongeni, bye-bye.
You
Bye-bye,
get
Yavi.
again.
Bye,
You get
Isileko. See you on Thursday, Isileko.
Bye.
Wednesday, Dongeni. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Don't even
Wednesday.
in the house
No,
there.
sir. Wednesday. Sorry, Isileko. Wednesday.
Hi, Sileku.
Okay, bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.